know how to write proposals. He just writes, and when you tell him this thing, there's no benefit to the people who are writing it to another. He just goes harassing people, taking from people. He's there in my town. And there are many like that. And he gets money, builds this. Look, were you in this country? When on TV, I was sitting there in my house, I was watching a TV program. I saw this guy on TV saying that this group of Nigerians, NGO, that they have gotten 33 million signatures for Jonathan. They lied and duped Jonathan. This guy that I'm talking to you about got $200 million. With it, he bought Rolls Royce and all that. And I've been telling him to go and look for work. He doesn't have work. Why? There are many like that. So they are parading the corridors of power. They are lying, writing proposals, and when you say no to them, they're the ones disrupting this country. Look, all these killings that are going on, who do you think is causing it? They are the ones who pervert the media and say it's headsmen. They are politicians.
Hold on, sir. Before we continue on that thought, we would like to take a very short break. We'll be right back.
Independence broke the bonds of colonialism, freeing Nigeria to be sovereign, to practice free will, and to determine.
Participation by young people is the future of the mind. And for this place, each of the 36 states of the Federation plus FCT and privilege at this time to move. Meaningful.
Still looking at youth involvement in nation building, I'd like to quote something that the president said at the signing of the bill, the video we just watched. The president at the signing of the Not Too Young bill, Not Too Young to Run bill, said, and I quote, "Your focus and contribution has now successfully increased the quality and maturity of Nigeria's democracy and expanded the playing field for youth participation in politics." Now, youth participation in politics. We know how the youth have participated so far. We've at least this morning we've talked about using them for snatching of ballot boxes. We've talked about using them as aides and all that. But in the US, as Mr. Nwoko said, in the US they volunteer. Can that system truly work? Because the president is saying that we are ready. From what he said contributed, increased the quality and the maturity of Nigeria's democracy. And
it will work in Nigeria if you have political elites, or if you have one who is able to understand this thing that we've just discussed, or who has seen how it's happened abroad and begin to champion it. Just that it's going to take a long time for you to develop that kind of culture. Because what we have here is, has already been embedded. How do you, I mean, you even talk to young people, they say, oh, how much money does he have? How much is he going to give me another? So it's going to take a long while. But it's going to take one individual. And every time it takes an individual to make a difference. To say, okay, you know what? That is the direction to go. And you will say no to those boys when they come to you and they're asking for money. Say, no, you contribute to my campaign, contribute to my ambition, and let's see how we can go. You know, in Europe, in France, you have a 30-year-old person. In the eastern part of Europe, young people are beginning to win elections.
Yeah.
And
even in Kenya.
Even in Kenya. But let me tell you,
we have a 24-year-old who was elected into the House of
exactly. But let me tell you how it came about. Let me explain to you how it came about. This immigrant influx into Europe is what gave rise to it. These young people just decided, you know what? These guys are admitting people into Spain, into France, into Poland, into Switzerland, into Germany. You know what we're going to do? We are against these immigration laws. So they became small political parties. They are young and they begin to win elections because the populace don't want black Africans to come into their place. So they begin to win elections. So you can choose a topic and remain insignificant. But what happens in Nigeria? When I'm a member of a political party and I've been in that political party since 2002. People laugh at me. Why don't you join APC? Why don't you
because you believe in the ideology?
But I believe in the ideology that Nigeria came first. Nigeria comes first. We started the Nigerian conference in 2002. In this very studio, my chairman, Reverend Kisokote, he was in this studio. He announced his entrance to the political. I don't know where you were in 2002, but he was in this studio, and I was at home. I was shocked because we were in church that morning. He didn't say anything to us, only to put on our TV, and I was getting calls. Oh, chairman is on TV. What? That's how we started this journey, and we are stuck together because in the ideology we are leavers, and probably I'll leave our children, but we are stuck to it. And Nigeria, this attempt to divide Nigeria is not going to work because you don't need the whole world. You just need 12 disciples to believe that Nigeria is our nation, and we're not going anywhere. I have gone abroad. I didn't fit in all the places I've been to. I've been to US. I've been to London. But
you're in Nigerian at heart.
Yes.
In everything. Mr. Layika, taking this particular conversation forward, I read a lot of funny things online, and it was interesting to note that how exactly does this particular bill enrich our democracy if political bigots believe that it is a waste of precious time? Because, and I do have a reason for saying this, because in an article from the people who started this particular year, the youth who brought this about, they said Professor Sage, the chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, he said Nigerian youth is unfit to hold the highest political office in the country, labeling the youth clamoring for such as shallow-minded. His reasons include the get-rich mentality, the fast get-rich mentality, and very fast, And then he said the youth do not recognize the importance of climbing up the success ladder gradually. Now, with this kind of generalization, because we have quite a number of people who have come forward to say they're vying for political position, for presidency, and I particularly saw 22 names that are not currently in government. 22 names. I have a list here. I had to write down their names intentionally because I wanted to understand, and I did a maths. Of all the 22, only 15 of them are under the age of 50. Now, of the ones that are under the age of 50, only 3 are above 40. Of those people, of which Fela Durotoye belongs to the group, of which Basket Mouth belongs to the group, of which we had Thomas Wilson, and quite a number of people. But we have 15 Nigerians who want to contribute in this way. But somebody in government is saying, because these are the people that we call youth, we're looking at people who are under the age of say 45 and below. For me, I still say 50. Barack Obama was quite young when he became president. France president was 35. So for me, if a country like France could have a president in his 30s, and somebody in the current government says youth should not vie for the position at all, that it is even an anomaly.
Let me say this. Most of the countries you're mentioning, most of the European countries and all that you're talking about, at 18, they are mature. At 18, they do the things adults are doing at 18. You see them, the way they reason, the ideology behind whatever they are alive at and what they live for, you see it at 18. And I just said something earlier. I said at 25.
In Nigeria.
We are not even close. Game. So now, if Professor Sage is saying that it may not be totally, out of place, but then, like I said also earlier about when I was breaking them down, and I was saying, okay, there are some set of youth. Yes, they believe in politics. They believe in them coming in, but for what purposes? For what purposes? To be made rich. They see it as a way of making, to get rich, quick. Is a way of getting rich. Quick. That is the reason why they are coming into politics. Not that they are ready to be grassroots politicians. Not that they love the nation and they want to see things turn around. It's about what they can make, they can benefit. Now, the few ones that may have the ideology, that I may want to say, okay, I'm going to be part of the grassroots. The few ones can't afford it. No, they
Because
want,
of
yeah,
the money
they
talk.
want, yeah, they can't afford it. That is the reason why I will still advise them. Yes, you may not be able to afford it today,
Yeah.
but join the grassroots. We don't have
Yeah,
grassroots
we should,
politicians when it comes to our youth. That's the reason why they are being used by
Because even
by
the
the elites.
chairman, even the chairman are
You know?
over the age of 50.
We don't have grassroots in
chairman
our.
are
I mean,
over the age
among
of
our
50.
youths.
So we don't have young people in the
They are not
grassroots.
there. I attend meetings of a particular political parties, and each time I get there, maybe I will see I'm the only, maybe the youngest among them.
Oh.
Even me. I mean, the youngest among them, and I ask, where are the youth? Where are the younger ones? But yet, they are clamoring, they are making noise, they want to be president, they want to be governor. How do you want to
But
become?
that brings me to
what?
my very next question. Another interesting thing. To contest for presidency in Nigeria or governorship position, Bismarck Rewani said it takes about 400 billion naira. When I saw it, I was shocked. He actually said $2 billion, equivalent to 300 billion to 400 based on the economy, the exchange or whatever. But we're looking at 400 billion for a successful, in his words, a successful presidential campaign. And I'm wondering,
That's not it.
Fela Drotoye wants to contest for president.
It's possible for him to raise the money. If
No, is the money compulsory? That's
yeah,
my
it is.
question.
It is compulsory because of all the things we
But sir, the question.
yeah,
compulsory.
because when, like, give you an example, in the US, people will come and volunteer and contribute. He has to spend money. Look, you know what killed Abiola in 1993? He spent his
Money.
Everything he
Not only did he spend his money, this man annulled his election. He killed him.
wow.
This guy had money, was a rich man.
It was
And when you're a rich man, you're doing
was
something,
almost richer than
people just
Nigeria.
take from you.
From you,
Yeah.
yes.
People were taking from him. I was a young man. I don't know how old was I, but I was already following political whatever. I was already
Around that
going
time.
visiting TV stations.
I think
and
I
all
was
that.
10.
But back to the subject matter. In this era of social media and all that, that amount can be minimized.
Can be minimized,
Yes,
okay.
if you deploy social media, and if your target audience is within that age bracket that you don't really need to use television.
because they actually 18 to 35 should be about 50% of the
if you
of
plan,
the
if
nation's,
you might not
Very
need,
well.
and to also raise that money with a population that we have, it would have been easy if we are like those guys there who will contribute.
Who would-
But the
$1
example you
per
gave,
person.
the example that you gave, let me puncture the example that you gave. Youth involvement in nation building will require education. Education has moved out of the four walls of schools. That's
Yeah.
number one. Number two,